Welcome back, everyone. NAVI, they have taken the lead in this series against KRU. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Achilleos and Mimi. I think EMEA fans can maybe just let out a breath of relief.
There's finally something to cheer for!
Yep, all good. All good, all good.
Yeah, this game very much was, as the caster said, a bit of a palate cleanser from match number 1 as NAVI came out and looked absolutely incredible. This was very much the favorite coming in and looking like the favorite. They maintained some of the fantastic coordination and great mid-rounding from Angel that the FBX score had, and CNED came in and looked like a star.
Yeah, he did, but you know what? I made the joke about Angel being on the floor, calling from, beyond the grave. He popped off in this game. Ends up coming out with the top ACS, and it was just such a powerful performance from him. So used to seeing him taking that back roll rather than being the one leading the charge. But there's so many times that he was just pushing his way into a site on a retake or on the attack and just coming up with multiple kills. It was a great thing to see from him.
It's really classic Angel stuff, but it felt a lot more deep than some of the previous kind of like crazy pushes he's had as an individual, right?
Oh,
With this Omen, it was a lot of double dive stuff where him and CNED are taking space together. Additionally, a lot of really good paranoias to set up his squad. I thought the team just looked on point. It was a great game from NAVI.
I mean, I think this is the kind of contrast with some of the other teams we saw, particularly EMEA, where we can tell a roster needs time. They're maybe not ready yet for this stage, but NAVI, they're not one of them, because obviously they only had to make that one swap.
Yeah, that is all that they had to change up here. But a team that I think is going to need to improve in a very quick amount of time is KRU, because they really struggled in this matchup. First half, were playing really passive, didn't have any answers to what NAVI was throwing, and the second half as well, it felt like they were never finding a gap in NAVI's defense, and their side executes just didn't quite have the coordination to overcome either.
Yeah, it's just not what you want to see from Nags when you have that jet, when you're playing on a map like Ascent. You want to see that powerful performance like we were getting out of CNED, but it was just way too passive, and oftentimes, I think Bala said it, and I think he put it quite well, it just looked like KRU were lost in these rounds. They couldn't figure out where NAVI was going to be rotating from. They couldn't figure out where they were going to be situated on sites. They just consistently got picked off one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great start for KRU there. I will say that for NAVI, they managed to convert 50% of their 4v5. So even when they lost that first guy, they were still okay for the most of that time in that map, which I thought was very, very impressive.
Yeah, it was a really great recovery from them, even when they did have those initial rough moments. But I don't think there were many of them, because their spacing was just really excellent on the attacking side. And on the defense as well, they had quite a few rounds where I saw some good value out of Sugetsu on this Cypher. I think having that utility and being able to switch it around so often, it's way more flexible than Killjoy. And I think for a player like Angel, that definitely helps his calling when they get on that defensive side.
Yeah, it was just fantastically done, clinical from the side of NAVI, and like you said, maybe KRU need to improve very, very rapidly, because right now it's not looking good. Because again, this was their map selection. Now we're getting ready to go into Lotus, and Angel's been cooking something up for this.
Yeah, I do want to sell some KRU hope a little bit here. We've seen in the past where teams haven't had quite the right answer to Lotus. We saw that with NRG, and I think this could be a 50-50 in which team had the better prep in the offseason. I didn't really see it with KRU on that Ascent, but I'm hopeful that they'll have a little bit more to show on map number 2.
Before we get into that, let's check in for the AIM Lab shoot-around. Of course, it is CNED from NAVI. We spoke a little bit about how he is going to fit into this roster, replacing Artist. Mimi, what did you think of how they implemented him?
Yeah, official CNED check-in right here. Felt pretty good. They had what made them good back last year, and they also changed some of the roles around, let him play on his comfort role of Jet, and I thought did a fantastic job across the board enabling him, especially for Angel and Zipan. Those three on the attacking side, as kind of the tip of the spear on the entry, was really, really good.
Yeah, it's just such a dangerous team. We weren't sure, how is he going to be stepping into, the likes of Artis' shoes. So far, pretty damn good. I'm expecting to see a bit more depth from him. Jet not been the most prevalent in the few times that we have seen Lotus come up. So I'm curious to see if he sticks with that, or maybe if we see him go over to something like a Sage, because we have seen a decent amount of that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly like the point to go for here, because what made the Artis good on this team, what made him great, wasn't just that he was a good Jet player. It was that he was a fantastically flexible player that fit into Angel's system on every single map they played, and we still only have a very small sample size with CNED.
Oh, look at him. I think he's happy with that score. But what I will say is CNED himself have spoken out about a couple of times now that the reason that the Ascend roster kind of fell apart is they just couldn't adapt to the meta, and he did not like the Chamber meta. I think we could all tell, even though he didn't do badly on it, he just way preferred the fact that Jet is back in. Now, I do wonder if they just kind of put him on the jet. Let him get comfortable first before they kind of force him to get more flexible.
I mean, maybe, but that is also something that could be concerning and that needs to be trained out of him, because you need to be able, if you want to be one of the greats, if you want to be able to take over your region, you need to be able to adjust to those metas rather than be like, I don't like the chamber. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play jet. You need to be able to make those adjustments as the meta changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Angel as well, he's a guy, he's always been very vocal about the fact that he needs his players to be flexible, to be able to play a variety of different agents. And obviously it's going to be an adaptation, not just for CNED, but for him as well, to get used to someone who does have probably some different roles that they're comfortable with than Artis.
Well, let's talk about Lotus. You guys kind of briefly mentioned it already. We haven't seen either of these teams play yet. I'm very excited to see what Angel's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some nutty stuff on Lotus so far. PRX was trying a hell of a lot. That wall boost that they had to get that catch on the Neon right off the rip, just coming straight out of A, was fantastic. But unfortunately, that was kind of the highlight of the map for them. So I'm excited to see if there's going to be any more wacky stuff that has been prepared by either side. As you said, Mimi, KRU, they need to show that they have also equally prepped for this map.
We've seen a couple answers to this map. I think 3 teams that we saw here, FPX, Carmen Core, and NRG, all went for that no duelist, double controller, double flash composition with the... I wasn't a super big fan of that. We also saw the teams who went in on the chamber and decided to try that out. That one had its moments on the defense, but I think for some squads felt a little gimmicky on the attack. Other teams leaned really heavily into the duelist, fighting constantly for a long control. So this map's meta is still very much nebulous, and I think seeing a team that tends to be very innovative on it is going to be one way to get a little bit more info.
We're heading into the Prime Gaming agent select here. Let's see what both sides are going to come out with. Of course, we've seen Lotus a couple times, but that's just not either of these teams, so I don't know what they're going to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely up in the air as far as what they're going to be going for. Mimi's laying down a hell of a lot of different compositions that we've gotten so far, and it looks like it's not going to be the duelist side for either team, as we will have the Neon coming out, and then CNED's going to be going over to the Rays.
I like this double dive composition for KRU. This is kind of a la HyperX when they ran this on Fracture. I think you can get a lot of value on defense with Gambits and also with the fast sight hits. We saw a comp like this work quite well for C9. Also, CNED on Rays. That's going to be cool.
I mean, he hasn't played Rays since February 2021, so I don't know how he's going to do here, but let's jump into this second map with your casters, Doug and Baller.
Thank you so much, Sue Ball. I'm so freaking excited to cast Lotus. I've been waiting for this day. The compositions are spicy, but you have to find success if you're KRU on this attacking half. You've got to get out of the gates the right way.
Yeah, and hey, they come up with a comp that I think is going to be very powerful at doing just that, right? Finding some space on the attack. I'm looking at that C site. You could already see some teams like HyperX, like Cloud9 even, really focusing on trying to dive into that site. But there's plenty of options as well. You can get past the early utility on A as well that's thrown by the defense. And honestly, you have a little bit less from NAVI in that regard. You don't have a breach. You have the Fade Raise combo, but how often are you going to be sending that in? Let's see.
A little bit of an aggressive peek from C as they're fully sending on to B. No hesitation, no doubts about it. What they didn't account for was the Killjoy utility, though. And that's going to cause problems for now as Angel just continues right where he left off.
Oh, no. The pivot is fast, yes, but you've already got them chasing through the C's. Almost keeps him from going through the door. And it has to be pushed through spawn.
Yeah. Can Ashetti find it? CNED wise to it, waiting. Cleans up the kill. 1v3 left for Nags. And yeah, he's going to get the spike down, get a little bit of extra cash. But how do you deal with the 2 members pushing you, Waterfall? You don't.
That's a great nade. I mean, I'm going to see tons of value out of that if CNED continues to hold on to that. Just clearing the site, and especially when you're trying to go for these safe plants, you have no safe space to stay. You have to do what he just did, jump out of Waterfall. That's a great way to end the rounds there. This round was chaotic, right? You try to go for that plant, and I think it's a good idea just to get it up with that wall. Nobody's playing on that left side where that box is. So KRU with a good idea on this pistol, but the reaction and the fight up C, top C where the mound is, definitely hurts. And I also think that possibly the idea was to pivot towards C the entire time, given the fact that they were even coming around from mound.
This time, no antics across the middle of the map, even though utility will be there, as it was in the previous round. They want to go towards C, and remember, there was space taken here at the beginning of the round. Look at how far up Shand is already.
I mean, look at the control just with the breach stun. Angel and Zipon can't find any quarter close.
Smoked right off. The initial attempt doesn't find success. Perhaps the second time's a charm.
I mean, this time there's 2 mollies too, so who knows? Maybe Sugetsu too slow to pop.
Just farming these orbs. Shady now 4 away from having the Rolling Thunder online. And note how far up CNET is here. He has a Guardian.
And it is a Navi buy here. The 2 rifles being, or the 3 rifles, Bulldog and Guardians here. So not as impactful as that one on Ascent, but still going for a little bit of a risk.
Right, similar idea nonetheless, right? Oh, surely.
Oh, he gets through.
Right.
But
it's just him.
Yeah, this time they don't bring the spike because he can full commit.
Oh, and the spike goes down anyway. The pistol's out.
Again. It's so good.
And CNET finally shows up. Shen absolutely decapitates Angel then.
Oh.
But clean out from Navi.
Just trying to push through Waterfall at that point. They're in their own smoke. They're out of range of spike plant. And they're potentially getting pinched from behind, given that the other player who's in the smoke is, I think, Nags, just stuck inside of B main. They're sending it on that site. And
yeah, they are.
that idea, sure, I kind of like it, but B is probably the most avoided site for attack sides in general so far at this event.
It's just so difficult to get through and difficult to hold, even if you do take it.
Have to give credit as well so far to CNET. His nades have been really good.
Yep.
I know Yinsu pointed out on the desk he hasn't played since 2021. Interesting fact about that, it was against FPX.
Oddly enough, yeah.
The team now he has joined under the banner of NAVI, so.
See how they do this here, how they decide to clear out C. They don't have that nade they mentioned before, as Davies is still towards mid, but it seems like that's where they're going to end up.
They're so aggressive here. This is way too far.
You're absolutely right. It's so aggressive.
That flash barely gets anybody except for the player's back, so they're able to isolate that close player, but Shan not able to find anything, and they lose 2 for it. So, hey, I'll take that trade any day of the week if I'm Navi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back towards the B side, and this time no fast lane either.
And at this point, surely you know there's Killjoy utility, and there it is. The Raze nade is going to clear that out. You're not going to get fooled on that 3 times in a row. Sugetsu flashed up. The turret should confirm.
Sugetsu's still going for this, though. Oh, no.
How cheeky does Davies get? It's actually Sugetsu who pushes it as well.
That's good there. That smoke to bait him into it. Davies ducks in immediately. Sugetsu has no time to get in.
Oh, it's not a crossfire. It's just Nags. And Nags was good for 1. CNET still has some weaponry, switches over to the Vandal, a 2v2 here, and the utility still to work with. The CNET tries to dance around, but KRU secures the site and secures the round.
Good anti-bonus there so far. Really good success when it comes to that round in specific, the round 3. And I do like the approach. Once they find themselves some sort of trade to work towards that B side, because that is going to be where you're the most thin in terms of defense. So finding any sort of pressure elsewhere and then moving towards the B side is definitely a good approach. And I want to see Navi start to switch it up in that regard.
This one may be fast C, though. You see the early paranoia out from Navi to take a main control, but everyone is over towards C. They've got the Rolling Thunder to work with as well. And there it is, right on cue.
That Molly did so much. They're not in sight yet. The TP just came through from Melzer, so they're going to be able to get the spike plant.
The breach utility is just so suffocating. And they've got a turret to control the flank.
And KJ ult, most importantly here, nothing to deny this.
And there it is.
So it's all on the CNET on the flank, and there's 4 players potentially here at Mount.
I mean, truly, they know. The flash, the swing out, yeah, CNET's dead.
That's a save. I'm calling a save here from Navi. Zipan is literally stuck. Can he get out?
I think the question is how much more can he take with him at this point? He was able to get a kill, and yeah, he does escape. Found the narrowest of margins to stay alive to avoid the lockdown and still get his.
Ranked play works out. There you go, KRU tying it up. Stringing together a couple, not something they were able to do on Ascent. And I think leaning towards the C site, that pressure, you saw what they did there. Instead of going for just mountain control, they went for more. They recognized the setup that Sugetsu was playing for towards B was causing them a lot of problems. The funny part is Sugetsu switched completely onto the C site, so he had 2 mollies there ready for them. But you can just bypass them with this Neon and with the Soman TP. And honestly, once Davey starts to satchel in too, you're having a mighty hard time actually holding without pushing into Mound.
Yeah, you have problems when they're both flying at you like that.
Look at the buy here, Doug. Only the saved weapons invested into this. Everybody else just light armor and a pistol.
It's interesting how we see this round play out, too. This is the first time we see KRU test the waters towards A.
And they get through and they pick the perfect time. Remember I was talking about gambles on Ascent.
Yeah.
This time it looks like it's working out. You can't spam that with a Spectre.
There's the ult, the flash. It's not going to find anyone. No one on the other side of that door, but perhaps the second satchel gives you the confirmation that you're looking for. Oh my gosh,
what?
That's all right. They saved the day. Never happened. We
Angel's
didn't
behind.
see it.
Angel's behind. Oh my goodness.
They're so weak. Angel with 2, the third right before him, but no. It's now a 1v2, and Shan saves the round. That could have been disastrous.
Oh my goodness. I'm wondering what obscured Angel's TP in there. We heard it.
How the heck did he get there?
I wonder, was there a C, something like that? Or just chaos? I mean, there was chaos, let's be honest here. On the site with Davies' ult there, that rocket. Choosing the wrong spot, but talking about gambles, I didn't get to finish my point. Normally you have CNED and Xiao combining here to find some control on A. But that round, they didn't have it. And that's the first round that they actually pushed through A. Let's see. Now there's going to be a clash, and we'll see if the speed from Shand is enough to get through.
He's flashed up. Yeah, he had no chance. He was flashed. He was knifed. And there was just too much presence here. But Zenit with the ult does find one.
How did Davies
Kills get traded back and forth. 3v2 here as the dust settles in favor of NAVI.
The anchor versus the lurk here on the C site, too. There's a turret that Sugetsu can peek off of.
Axe gets a kill here. This is enormous. No.
Huge damage.
Huge damage, but the rotations start to lean towards B. Xiao, the only one, kind of hanging back A.
I really like that Molly as well from Sugetsu. Actually gives him space. If he's not all the way on the back of that wall, Nags, he has the space to slide into sight.
They smoked off the turret, and the knife didn't tag anything mid. But again, you still see how disciplined NAVI are.
Yeah.
Completely like holding the line, spreading themselves thin.
Well, they have the tools to do that.
Yep.
If the trade went a little bit better on A. And now the jig is up. Smoke's gone on the turret too. Sugetsu's going to be re-clearing C. After Xiao spots one. And he might have spotted both. Now they know for sure.
Yeah,
Here's
definitely.
the full rotate.
Yep.
25 seconds. I think
remember-
Xiao just needs to be patient.
Remember here,
Oh!
Nags has no health. You asked for patience. And well, there was none. Melzer trying to play a little bit of mind games as they've gotten it down to a 2v1. Sugetsu, can you clutch it out? 13 seconds left. He drops down, and Melzer's right beneath him, waiting with open arms.
Huge round for Melzer. And KRU is now up 2 rounds. That is massive. To be able to just go for that stairs push, find the low player, and then patience again, not to swing ahead of, who was it with him? Nags in that case? Not to swing ahead of him, do that fake TP, and then swing. Good composure from the IGL, former Leviathan player.
You see the crowd loving it as KRU gives them a reason to cheer. Timeout out for NAVI. They find themselves down 2 rounds. And while it seemed like KRU were going to have a hard time getting past some of the pesky initial defenses of NAVI,
Yeah.
really since, what, round 2? It's just been all KRU.
Yeah, it has been. And they've given up on that approach on the B side. So I also like the aspect that Navi is for sure discussing right now of how those first 2 rounds condition Navi, right? You now see that full swap up since we've entered the gun rounds of Sugetsu onto the C side. No longer really pressuring Mound, no longer really going for anything there. And that has caused them to be stretched a little thin. Also there, Angel going for that TP on top of Rebel. Didn't work out. We've seen some success from players like Navera, for example. And just the strength of Omen in that area in general.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's seen, and it's tested, and it's practiced against. So the fact that KRU is able to deal with that A main push as best as they did, remember, while losing Shand.
Yep. Very impressive. Speaking of Shand, he has the ult to work with this round. Hasn't committed to it yet.
Back to that control onto C Mound. Instead of full commitment, they threw a one-way down. And Navi actually has pushed all the way A main and rotated everybody. So let's see if they're ready here. It is just a sheriff round. Let's see if they're ready for that push on the C, or B, excuse me.
CNET's going to be the first to receive. And there's the ult, the flash, the smoke, the fast lane, everything. As Shan looking for anything, not going to find a target initially. But how much further does he go? There it is. He's rewarded for his aggression. Thing is, Ashedi here has the Rolling Thunder, too, to keep them back in case things get real messy. They all are playing off-site. They've got mollies on the spike. I know that Navi didn't really have guns to work with this round, but given the post-plant setup out from KRU, if there was any sliver of hope, it just seems all but gone. They kind of have to fight, right? Truly, they just have to go. Oh my gosh. No. This could be bad. They've gotten 2. Kills get traded right back, and Davies cleans it up.
I was certain that that round was going to get wrapped up, but that's the danger here of NAVI. This is a great start here from KRU. After that bonus, they've been riding the wave.
Yeah, and I think even important too to note, Ashedi keeping his Rolling Thunder, not having to invest it in a lighter round, so you can use it in a gun round such as this, post plants, whatever it may be. Very interesting. Remember when last time we saw him have that, it was combined with the lockdown to take C, and now there's no lockdown this time around, but they are leaning that way.
Yeah. Zip on with the K ult. Could counter. Angel's going to actually TP all the way in the corner. They're fighting.
Oh my
Zip
gosh, are they ever? But the kills get traded right back. Seeing it with the op, doesn't even get a chance to fire it. Clean shots up from Jen.
And there's nobody here from NAVI, not even close. TP's going to come in here shortly from Melzer. They'll plant the spike. He can even get off if he wants.
Note here how close Xiao and Sugetsu both are to having their ultimates online. 1 kill could be all the difference. But with that in mind, the spike down, Melzer with a narrow exit. Now the Prowler through, seeing if it's going to tag anyone. No, nothing is free. Nothing will be given. Sugetsu's fallen. And Xiao now left in a surely almost impossible situation.
Gave us a glimpse into the future, too, with that seize that he missed. But, yeah, no way really back in, even if this is Xiao, even if this is the clutch master himself. And we're going up to 6 here for KRU. I mean, this is a reversal completely of what we saw in Ascent.
Yep. 1000%. I mean, KRU just looks so much more comfortable, right? Like, Melzer is calling an exceptional game, and we talked about it a little bit now that we have some time, but I really feel like this format puts all light on IGLs, right? Because you can come in with a game plan, but it's not like you have a lower bracket to where you can commit to it and then adjust. No, you have to do it on the fly. And for Melzer to get punched in the mouth the way he did in map 1 and then adjust to call the game he's called so far is really impressive.
Yeah, and I think the way that Ascent went kind of helps him with that. Like I keep saying, I think if I'm in his shoes, I'm for sure telling myself, okay, yeah, they had gambles that worked, we had gambles that didn't work in a lot of calls, but
yeah.
Back to just Guardians and Vandal here. We're in round 9 right now. 4-round lead here for KRU. Angel left by himself. We've swapped Sugetsu all the way over towards the A side. We'll see if that continues into the next, and Davies leading the charge this time.
Oh, but I mean, his duo's right behind him. Shan dashing in as well. They have full control of the site. The thing is, they have Sugetsu's lockdown for a retake, but do you really want to invest that? I mean, I guess you have 3 rifles to work with.
Ultimate spawn, we have...
Oh my gosh, he stuck it!
No!
He stuck it! What a mad lad!
Sugetsu tried to play him, but no chance. They got a molly on the spike too.
And there goes the lockdown.
It's kind of off-plant here. It's kind of off-centered. Not all this post-plant's going to be perfect.
They're going to have to try to take the fight to him. That's exactly what they're doing, but will they find success? The flash out, no challenge. Bait not taken, and another round for KRU.
After Ascent, there was no way anybody was expecting this type of turnaround.
No, not at all.
Just ridiculous. And I have to say, the difference here from Angel in comparison to some of the other Omens that I've been watching so far on Lotus, he's trying some of the same things, but then as well trying some other things, where a lot of times he's continuing that Angel-type play style.
Yeah.
He's been engaged in so many of the first duels in this map.
Yeah.
It's just not been working out. Have to try to lead and keep it with Zip on.
I mean, they're trying to dictate the pace, right? You see it even in the opening to that round. 4 members get the orb A, establish a main control. So they're doing what they can to swing momentum back their way, but...
Angel's got trouble here.
Yes, he does. You were just mentioning how he's often in these first duels, and I mean, if things continue the way they seem...
He's delaying this one way for so long. I was really scared they pushed him through.
Double flash. Angel has to wait. Yeah, he's just going to ult out.
Some rarely seen discipline on the first engagement there from Angel, but he still might be the first duel.
Yeah, it's just delayed a bit. If nothing else, you see them, perhaps they're going to pivot towards B. I think they are, Paula. They hit the revolving door towards A to draw rotations back there as well, and they fully commit into B.
This is so well rehearsed from KRU.
They look so good.
KJ ult from Sugetsu is so deep into Waterfall, too, that they have so much space. Heaven here still.
They're just waiting for them to push. Look at how far off Shao is.
Shan's not cleared here. Shan's not cleared for sure.
Do they invest the Nightfall? 5v3 here?
Sugetsu.
Surely at this point you've equalized numbers, and there it is. The ult used. Nag trying to keep them back. So far is able to. The flash in his face, and he hits both of them. Now Meltzer not able to hold the line either. A 2v1 here. Davies so weak. Can Shao do it? Oh my gosh! The shot from Davies and the Red Bull clutch from KRU. They clawed their way back into the round. They invested the ultimates they needed, and KRU did not care.
The newcomer to the team. The player we all thought was going to be the 6th man for this roster. The Colombian delivers.
What a stud.
8-2, this lead is starting to look insurmountable in much the same way that first map went for NAVI. And the trouble here for EMEA is starting to continue, honestly. Angel again, TP deep mound. Sugetsu's there to cover later.
He's so far up, man.
It's only Sheriff's 1 stinger here for CNED.
One player spotted, and that's a few for Shan to go, but Zipan's able to hold them back with 2 clean shots out from the Guardian. The Paranoia invested as another one.
Good smoke, too. They recover weapons.
Yep.
That's 2 weapons. Zipan has been insane, and that call from NAVI is really, really nice. Just stack up on B, get a lot of information towards C. You know they like to go for it, and they're just there in heaven ready to receive.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, the fact we were just talking about Angel taking C main so far up so early, but if not for him taking that space, he can't help as easily into the B hit.
Did they walk through this smoke? Shao's here to receive. Can he get into tree?
But there's a flash set up. Yeah, there it is. Oh, he's surrounded. I mean, where do they go from here? They just go into the next round. Great round out from NAVI, a thrifty one at that.
And that's the type of strat to come out that I was expecting on some of these ecos. Zipan with just the Guardian, he finds 2. They recover the weapons. The smoke through as well with that mount control to open up the door. They give themselves such good chances. A lot of times, even those eco rounds, even if you get 2 picks or so, it's still difficult if you can't recover the weapon. So understanding the win con and understanding how KRU is calling this map. But it's not even close to dug out here. This lead is still massive for KRU.
Early aggression towards C out from NAVI, but the rest of KRU is A. You hear the ult use instantly as they're waiting for anyone to challenge. Anyone dare show their face. Gotta be careful here. You're gonna have the turret controlling flank, and once again, Angel creeping forward. They're gonna commit.
Oh, that's so difficult to deal with. Is it going to be a swing? Here goes Cena with the ult.
Shao just has to fight, but the flashes are there. They can't see a dang thing. Kills going back and forth, 1-for-1 the entire way.
Can't get out.
And it's finally KRU who tips things back in their favor. A 1v3. What the heck does Angel do here? Can he be the savior that NAVI needs in this round? Ashadi weak. Shand weak, Meltzer weak. Moving an angle, and now the fault line in his face. There's no way out. A 9-3 lead out from KRU and Bolo. What a response to map 1.
It's just so nice and prepared and abusing the things on this map that need to be abused. I love the awareness and preparation they had for that ult to come in. The counter flash, and CNET has really no options there except for full send and get out.
A very impressive first half out from KRU. But now it's NAVI on the attacking side. We'll see if they're able to replicate some of that success and throw it down to the desk.
Thank you very much, Doug and Vala. Seth, you mentioned the Croupium after the first map, and I think you were right. KRU, they're showing up here.
You know what? I won't even accept the credit. It was Mimi. Mimi was the one who was saying there's some reasons to have that Croupium. And yeah, they're showing why right now. Answering back in this first half with a 9-3, just like they suffered on Ascent at the hands of NAVI. And I'm starting to wonder, is this Lotus pick just another misfire in the brains here from the side of NAVI? Because right now, it's not looking great. We'll take a look back at round number 6. And this was one of the moments where it felt like the mentality really got shattered. An initial fight coming through, an opening pick from Xiao. Taken down. Davies able to answer back one, but things just continue to fall apart time and time again here for KRU. Nice little rocket coming through from CNED to find themselves a third pick, but Melzer then pushes into the smoke, gets that snapshot onto Xiao, and then he just gets tucked against the rope wheel and Higatsu. It was a major turn there for the IGL.
Yeah, the IGL had a very strong start to that half, but so did Davies here. He had a fantastic first start of Lotus. After looking solid on map number 1, he came out here on Raze, which is probably his strongest role, and looked absolutely fantastic. A couple massive clutches, massive moments for this KRU team. But now as we look ahead towards the second half, my question still stands with, what are Navi's answers to this map? Because I feel like in that first half, they really struggled with dealing with these very fast C-long hits that KRU were going for, oftentimes abusing into that site, into B. NAVI was unable to shut that down. Now they're on the side where I think they can show us a little bit more of what they have prepped. Is it enough, though? That's the question.
That is the question indeed. Mimi, KRU, they need to hang on here, or they're going to be eliminated out of this tournament. Doug and Bala, I can't wait even to see what's going to happen.
Honestly, Sue, I can't either. It's only been one half for KRU, but it seems like they have found a breath of fresh air. They seem like an entirely different team.
Yeah. This comp has looked really good for them. They just look incredibly comfortable. Now, they even have the breach as well to kind of solidify some of the double duelist gaps that you would have normally. So this A main push is still going to work out. And then on the other side too, Mimi was talking about how the C push, the C long push was so difficult for NAVI to deal with. And now you don't even really have the same tools that KRU had to execute that themselves. It has to be CNED. And Zippon has been the guy on that defensive side who you really are like, okay, I think I can rely on him to continue to carry, but on this attack side, it's going to be hard for him to just full control the game.
See Shan just jump spotting, starting to feel some of the pressure.
Looks like a door split here. Similar to what KRU did in rounds very close to the end. Here's the door getting broken. Melzer's going to be almost by himself. You got Axetti here as well.
Yeah, and note it's not even just the door split. They hit the rotating door as well, but no rotations for now.
That
Spike
stun is
landing
really early, but the nade combo might find some damage now.
How bold does Xiao stay here? Just playing on the other side of the smoke. Just playing on the other side of the wall.
Funny part is this flash from Melzer might actually let them
Oh
clear.
my gosh! What discipline to clear that! But either way, Navi's able to maintain control of the side, or at least they were for a moment. A 2v2 here, you see the tap on the spike, instantly rethought. And now Melzer with 47 HP, tries to make a run at it and fails. Pistol goes in favor of NAVI.
That's 1 HP for Angel there. That is absolutely crazy. Look at the score lines for this team right now. 20 and 10 for Zippon, nobody else in the double digits for NAVI. Reflective of the overall game and how it's gone so far.
Oh, his back's hurt.
And a chance to see that again is nice. I like the reflank as well from Angel, just holding on to A main control, making sure nobody's flanking you through the breakable door. A lot of times the problem when you go for any mid presence on any map, honestly, in this game. And look at this trap setup here. On C-Long. It's going to be a flash and a push, maybe a fault line too, and a bunch of stuns.
Dude, KRU just want to fight.
Yeah, but the door's opening now.
And the flash, too. They got paranoia. They can't see a dang thing. They try to find cover in the revolving door, and guess what? Angel's waiting on the other side.
I mean, I love this on both sides. I like the idea from KRU. And that was kind of something that NAVI did feint a little bit, that C-mount control early in the pistol round. So, hey, it's a good call. Potentially they'll go for the same thing. But then Angel as well, taking the risk to open the door. A lot of times that can backfire.
Yeah.
But he only has a ghost, so he's not really worried. He's not concerned. He can take all the fights he wants. If he dies, that's okay.
Yeah, nothing really lost there. KRU's still hanging on to a lead. They now have rifles to work with. Xiao still using that Guardian.
I mean, we've already kind of erased a big portion of that lead. 4 rounds still here. This is a pivotal round. Similar to what I said for KRU on Ascent. I mean, it's the same scoreline, just reversed.
NAVI taking a very patient, methodical approach to this round. I know they pushed up a bit towards B main, but other than that, it's almost like they're expecting aggression out from KRU.
Bringing it back towards Ascent as well. This is where NAVI on their attack side. Remember, they picked attack when they had the chance. They played very well with the adaptations in the mid-round calls and the rotations and the depth of the strat book. And this is the time to see if it's as prepared here on Lotus, the newest map addition to the game.
Shan takes a little bit of damage there on the jump spot. But the exchange was information garnered. Ooh. That's far more important. The paranoia, the double satchel out from CNET onto the site. They're going to be able to get the spike down, but you've got to be careful. KRU has a lot of members very close by.
Yeah, but that stun was really early, so you don't have the same initiation power now from Xedi until deep into this post plant.
Playing so far off too, the paranoia, the flash. They've committed onto the site. The thing is, they're playing so far off, NAVI, is that they can really afford to give some of this space up and still hang on to control. CNET has fallen. Melser on the tap. Another kill going in favor of KRU. Oh, but NAVI trading it right back.
It's spammable for Link. It's spammable right here.
Oh, there it was. You were absolutely right. A 1v2. Xiao gets it into 1v1, but he's so weak.
4 bullets.
He's got a spam.
No
The spam's
way.
going a bit wide. Davies is going to hold it, and the Classic does not deliver.
Just ridiculous. The idea from NAVI, so good, but the weapons are not. And the crucial players who have the ammo in this case, the ammunition with the Vandals, are the ones taking the duels.
Yep.
So a little bit of a misplay there. But super crucially, Zippon gets that last kill as well, okay? So look at the money from KRU when we come back. He gets that last kill, and sure, they lose the round. But KRU are absolutely broke.
Oh my goodness. Pretty early fight for EMEA. You see Angel has already pushed his way up towards Rubble. Shan can be wise to it, yup. Stinger secures the kill.
And just the follow-up and patience there, smoking actually the cross there so that Shant can recross back. And the fight for NAVI on this plot in defense, when there was actually an engagement in A main, was a lot more pushed up towards Root. Here it's a lot more controlled from KRU, more patient. Oh, Zippon, he is still working it.
Yes, he is.
And remember, low buy from KRU.
Look at how far up CNET is.
And that could cost them if he ends up giving up a Vandal. That knife might give a little bit of misinformation towards the players who were up close on A, so CNET might find a gap here. Why would you knife your teammate?
They're rotating all the way over to C.
Wow.
But the hit's can end up B, and as you noted, CNET's positioning here can be really problematic late round.
I wonder if they thought that knife was thrown from really far away.
Yeah.
And that's
From
why
bound
they...
or something?
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to take the route in from the revolving door on C. And again, keep an eye on CNET. He's starting to creep forward.
This is a tough plant for everybody but CNET. Look at Xiao, he's actually rotating all the way through spawn. They're playing this really well. But he just has to find the timing. They just cleared this entire lane.
I mean, they're just starting to surround and suffocate the defenses.
That's a gun. That's a gun.
That's one down, but are they going to be expecting Xiao? I don't know that they are, Bala. Zip and pause, and yeah. Xiao probably should have gotten 2 there, but...
No time.
No, there's no time. Oh, no!
Shand was on for the ace there too, but it wouldn't have mattered. But it would have been a similar situation to what we just saw a round ago, where NAVI lose the round and end up with no weapons whatsoever. And that would have been a massive snowball in the favor of KRU as well, given that their 2 ults are economically very favorable as well. That flank from Xiao, just perfectly timed. Again, not planted for them at all. Woo. Through the door. And they made the right call to fall off. They don't want to fight the revolving door, but okay, look at this. Fast push through B main from KRU, and it's the finger guns that get canceled.
Oh! That was the whole key to the early aggression, and nullified just like that.
Doors open as well. They clear out everything in B main. Looks like KRU might want to re-aggress. But so far, Zipan is playing out of his mind. Another first kill for him.
I mean, the guy's got to be flirting with 30 at this point, surely.
He's not that old, Doug.
Shan throwing a little shoulder across mid, and again, you see NAVI, how patient and disciplined they are. They're going to end up C, and there's nobody there. Note they have CNID's ult, Angel's ult as well. Now the spike going down, and look at how far up they're pushing. They're pushing into spawn. Meltzer's in a world of hurt here.
Oh, that flash went way wide. Oh, no. That's a big punish from Angel.
I mean, just like that.
There's no control.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes silent. I mean, they were roaring a second ago.
I mean, just like a switch flipped. As soon as Meltzer dies, silence.
I could feel the vibrations on our stage. And now I feel safe again. We're going up to 3 rounds. NAVI is working this lead, and again, remember on Ascent how they hunted the guns down. Yeah. They have got the pulse, and nobody's watching Angel on this side. If they can bait into him, there's no way he doesn't get both.
Oh, do we have a knife again? Nope, no knife, but 2 kills out for Angel. 4 on the round, 7 for NAVI.
What an unbelievable turn of events here as well for this team. It's Angel who is kind of helping Zipan to get back into this. Not Sugetsu, not Xiao, not CNED.
Yep. Not the usual suspects. You're absolutely right.
Angel.
Clean out from Angel.
This is actually KRU's first time out. I mean, they've been in the lead for a significant portion. So let's see what they can come up with. I think NAVI has been the guys who have been cooking in the last couple of rounds, definitely finding the read.
What a crowd, man. What a crowd.
It just hits different, guys,
yes,
when you're here. We've been at home watching these games, and the energy in here is ridiculous. And we've actually gotten quite packed out here for this game, too. Even though there was a number of Liquid fans in the first game. They're showing up for their countrymen, Shan.
If you're KRU here, you walked into half with a considerable lead.
Yep.
And you've seen it not entirely evaporate, but you can feel yourself losing control of the game. You're losing control of the half. Your buy, not great. So you're likely looking at 10-8 unless you cook up something real spicy. I mean, how do you maintain composure? How do you maintain control?
Yeah. And I think that's part of what Liazzo and the team probably talked about is composure down the line here. But I think more than anything, it has to be a strategic victory. Every single time they go for something kind of out of the box, it feels like Angel and NAVI have the read.
Oh, they're going to spam that box, bro. Yeah, as soon as he got tagged by the knife, he was a dead man walking. Second one there, you see the fault line out to try to provide some cover, to try to provide some help. Uh-oh.
They're collapsing.
Uh-oh. If it wasn't the nade, it was going to be the ult. Either way, he dies.
Dude, he takes one in the grave. He is 6 feet under, and he's still killing people.
That's how we planned it. That was the intent all along.
Again, the re-aggro there. I really like how Angel played that, too. The knife goes in, and KRU are expecting that knife now. So one player's trying to cross, and the other players are trying to stay away from the knife, but it gives them enough space to isolate that fight.
Yeah. That's just such a brutal spot, because once you cross, I mean, you're behind the box. You're going to get spammed through. It was an attempt at taking space, but it fails.
Big difference here that I'm seeing between some of the teams that have struggled so far, especially some of the teams that are restructuring a little bit. And you can see the experience of NAVI and the fact that they have a core playing a big factor is the players who are playing well are definitely making hero plays, but they're not leaving their team out. Like when we were watching Team Liquid earlier, Yampi is just kind of full sending in some instances because he's the only guy who's fragging on the team at that current time. For Angel and Zippon, it's still well controlled, it's well thought out, it's still with the team. He's 33.
Seemingly insignificant, but he really needed to try to keep that rifle and bring it into the next round. That's all. That was his like sliver of hope at the end there. And
I mean, if you're KRU, like you're literally you don't feel anywhere safe, honestly.
Yeah.
You have to run to the farthest corner of the map to even try to find any safe haven.
Yeah.
All right, this is the round. We've got Shan with a neon op. A neon op. And I think this is okay given the fact that NAVI hasn't really been sending it towards A. They've been controlling C mount and they've been controlling B main for the most part at the beginning of these rounds. Angel, quick TP. Oh, he might get caught. He's going to commit. Nax is right around the corner.
Oh my gosh, of course he commits! And Angel gets a kill anyway!
The site is wide open now. No KJ utility. And he's got more space.
My goodness, Angel.
Oh!
He's a man possessed! Oh, he's just looking to put him away, and he's already gone 4. The ace, tuck and tail, running away. Trying so desperately not to give him the satisfaction of it, but Angel with 35 HP. The bait is there, the satchel's out. Melsa ruins the party. But the round goes their way nonetheless.
Oh my goodness.
Angel's a bad dude, bro.
That guy, I mean, yeah, he needs a different name. He's not an angel. That is just mean.
It's not just that he sticks it.
Doing horrible things. Look, the TP there, I mean, it's so well planned too. Like just around the corner. So if you're the player on site, you have to run all the way back. And now KRU, which probably have never thought of playing anti-Omen setup, Omen TP setups, is now thinking, okay, next time Angel has TP, we need to stay in spawn. Like that's just wild to think about. And NAVI are now on tiebreaker point. Fast B push, and Angel's already TPing across A, so gets you just sitting in the fast lane. Gets the trade, but gives up a rifle for it. And I don't know if there's enough space here for NAVI to continue to commit towards this A side. And as I say that, marking out spawn and re-clearing to continue to hold that gun.
Note here, Shao has his ult, and Cena does too.
There's two trains of thoughts when your IGL is fragging as hard as they are. On one side, you think, okay, the IGL shouldn't be doing this. Like, he doesn't need to be doing this.
Right.
And then the other side, if your IGL's fragging that hard, this is my train of thought, is all the time he has the read on the game. He knows exactly how the other team is thinking, and he knows how to position his pieces, and most particularly, he knows the timings as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is happening with NAVI and Angel right now. Dude, like, every time they go for a stack on the eco, they're just going to the other side. It's like, it's like he has the mini-map.
I mean, any sort of momentum, as we talk about IGLs, any sort of momentum or read Melser may have had on the game was really lost at half.
And even further, I think the TP round sends you for another loop as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's when you finally come up with the idea, okay, let's get this neon up. Let's try to just have that posted up on A. And it just gets punished immediately.
Ult invested.
Big ult from CNED. Yeah, they just can't get through.
Time bought. And round secured, really. I mean, Ashedi surely keeps his ult going into this next round, and a couple of kills go through.
It's a little inty.
Yeah, a little.
I think both these guns are going down, too.
Yeah, I don't think they get away. Yep. Oof. But we're tied up at 10. NAVI have so much money.
Yeah.
Man, they can invest for days.
Yeah, they can. I mean, 4 rounds of investment, maybe not, but you're only looking at needing max 2 in a row type thing. Otherwise, you're losing or you're winning. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think their bank is enough to carry them all the way through. What I'm looking at here is the ults that are up. I mean, we've got bases loaded in a sense in terms of the prime ults. Breach ult for Ashedi. Nags with his KJ ult. Zippon has his KO ult. There's counters to counters here.
And I mean, if you're KRU, it kind of has to happen now. They've invested so much into this round.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to end up being retake here, surely. As the KO ult goes through, clears the site. Space is taken. And of course, it's Angel with the first duel again.
Not going in his favor this time. This KJ ult is keeping them well zoned, and that's really good because it allows Navi to stay spread against this breach ult that is for sure imminent.
Yeah.
And Nags is well watching the flank. He's good at KJ ult himself. That covers the spike.
Oh, but the counter Nightfall hits too. Shan falls. Ashetti trying to dash around the utility, and he can't find much. Shigetsu's shots are clean, and the ult of the utility's there as well. But he detained. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all.
Oh, but CNET who was detained as well. Up in heaven. I was wondering who the second player was because it might have been both those players in heaven and there might have been a way in. But talk about no bank on the other side right now. KRU is struggling.
Bomb grenade out. I'll find you.
Oh my goodness, what a collapse.
I mean, the Nightfall paired with the Nightfall paired with the Molly from KJ.
Yeah.
Is what got that. Oh my goodness.
That's adorable.
I mean, that's just.
That is adorable. May not be KRU fans feeling that way. But again, you see this investment of utility towards A. How do they choose to go about this one? The revolving door, the only thing keeping the two omens away.
KRU has been playing a lot of retake on C with just the turret of Nags. And it is the eco again, and you've seen they've been prone to stacking. Navi has to have that in their head. They know that's the case. So let's try to not only feel out the stack, but also try to force the stack towards one side.
Yeah, and then hit the other, absolutely.
Now, I think that this is not going to be that case because of how spread they are already. They have two players spotting on B and A, and they do want to play the post plan eventually.
They do have Shan's ult to work with as well. You imagine that will come into play this round. Davies smoked off, haunted. Everything before him, but the gang's all here, man. They've all rotated.
Flash from Zip on, maybe?
He's so close. In the smoke, when does he peek? There's the ult, and it's gone! That was what they needed to get into the round, and as quickly as it starts, it evaporates.
Angel is doing some silly things too, and
A Prime Gaming flawless as Navi gets to 12. Pearl seemed within reach. It seemed like the series was going to go the distance, and a late timeout comes through for KRU as they look for any Hail Mary they could possibly find.
yeah, it's all falling down here for KRU. Only one round on this defensive side so far. It was a 9-3 half. I mean, talk about curses.
Blessings. It's a 3-9 blessing
3-9
for
blessing.
Navi.
Yeah, for Navi. Okay, sure. I was listening to Suka. She said on the desk at halftime, she said, oh, let's see if KRU can hold on to this lead. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird way to put it. But she was right. I mean, she was right down the line. Let's see indeed.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is where these, I mean, not inexperience at this point with so many of the players having played at international lands for KRU, but experience and freshness of the roster comes into play, right? Because this is composure that Navi has worked on for so long. That's why they're even in this game in the first place.
Yep.
Whereas KRU, they've only been working together for a couple of months. Outside of, I mean, even Nags is alone in a sense of all the players who played on KRU prior. I was expecting Klaus to be playing in this tournament, but instead he's subbing for the team.
KRU with one final hope. And the thing is, they're going to have to do it more than once.
And look at what the only ult online right now is, the one that caused so much chaos for them prior.
And the funny thing is, look at how far up KRU's playing. So he can easily ult into their spawn again, and they'd have no idea.
Absolutely right.
Does he do it, though?
No way.
Does he have the gusto to do it again? Again, the crowd fully behind KRU as they feel the intensity of the moment. All before him here.
It's a flash through mound. They're not going to find anything, but they're going to follow up on this. And Cena's alone in a sense. Oh!
Oh, there's got to be help there, surely.
They're really close to flanking here, though.
Melser has no paranoia.
Oh, Shand is close.
Oh, but he's going to get spotted. Yeah, the Prowler clears him out. He's got to give the space back up.
I was holding my breath there. Could have gotten spammed. They're going back towards C, re-clearing all that space.
Remember, Angel still has his ult, and he's the only one out towards A.
He's pulling so much. Still has a flash too. Starting to call the final plays. The final touches, looking at the mini-map right now. They're hitting that C site. It's all up to Melzer for the final round to stay alive here for KRU at lock-in.
By himself, he's got to reposition. He's got to get away, and he manages to do so.
30 seconds.
Stays alive at least for a moment longer. How far up does CNED push? Look at Angel on the flank. It's not going to be an ult. He may just do it the long way. But it looks like he's going to commit to it. They're holding on to the site. Massive kill out from Melzer so far. CNED dancing around the utility. The flash in his face has to give the space up. And it's all just delaying. It's all just buying time for the main character to do it again. It's Angel. Now the paranoia to buy some space. KRU have to give the space right back up. 4v4 here, and again, look at Angel. He's wrapped all the way around into spawn. They've got them stuck. There's no way out. The kills come through for NAVI and Melzer. Can you do it your own? No, you cannot. The lead gone. The series in favor of NAVI.
The European hope that we were all waiting for finally shows up here at lock-in and take down KRU very quickly. Unfortunately, that's goodbye to KRU, but hello to the actual contenders for EMEA here. So far, NAVI look excellent.
Man. And again, you see it. Shand as he walks towards the stage. A goodbye for KRU. And I think there were a lot of questions for KRU coming into this tournament, right? How are they going to fare against international competition, given the roster changes? How are they going to fare in the Americas when they get back home? And while it certainly wasn't the performance that they wanted, it certainly wasn't the outcome they wanted, I think there are plenty of bright spots.
Yeah. I think for sure. Hey, this is a new team. This is a new team. They're fighting to be the best in LATAM and the best in Americas. We're going to see them very soon.
Yeah, we are.
Not fighting against NAVI, but some of their compatriots out in South America and the rest of America as well. This team, though, high expectations, very high expectations. Delivered, but still questions, I have to say.
Yeah,
I mean, performance from Angel and Zip on the side. The rest of the roster, you know they've got chops.
Yep.
Just wasn't quite there today. That doesn't mean it's going to stick that way.
Well, you know, the nice thing is it didn't need to be there, right? Like, if you have all the other pieces working as well as they were.
And we have seen this before as well, just Angel take over games, especially early stages of tournaments. And this is just that. A reminder to everybody who was watching Lock-In with us last week. We're basically starting from scratch with the Omega bracket. This is round one for these guys. Our first taste of them, and unfortunately, no more for KRU. They're going to say goodbye, give their final wave as well. Not that we got to see much of them, but NAVI will get a chance as well later on in the week.
My goodness, again, this round out from Angel, bro.
He should have aced.
He really should have. That close. You saw it in the replay. That freaking close to the ace. But I think, as you know, Ball, as you're mentioning, I want to continue this a bit. Like, if this is the baseline for NAVI, there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in comparison to some of the teams that started out in the alpha bracket, I think I do hearken it too loud in that sense, right?
Yeah, sure.
They started out strong. Yes, Genji ended up coming back and causing some problems. But, hey, look at what KRU just did, right? It's the same sort of style.
Yeah, absolutely. MVP poll is up. The vote needs to be cast. Go ahead and do it right now. You see the QR.
Yo, they did Angel dirty right here.
Did.
Come on, where's Angel at?
Can we get a write-in? We need to get a write-in.
Let's get a write-in.
For this guy. Zipan, CNED, or if you believe it's Angel, go ahead and reply. Reply to the tweet. Let them know who you think the MVP is. An outrageous performance up from NAVI. Again, they weathered adversity, they took care of business, and they live on to fight another day. We're going to throw it to a break. When we return, we still got some more VALORANT coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
EMEA's hopes are riding on the shoulders of NAVI, but KRU, they're going to want their revenge here. They faced this team before. I know there's some new players here, but let's not forget towards the end of last year, I think KRU managed to go up against FPX twice and lost both times.
It's just a question of what they're able to take into the next round, and the answer is nothing. Can you keep him back? Can you keep him at bay? The spike goes down. Chow in a 1v3. Clean shots out from Davies. CNED cleaning that out, and now he's got to go fast, and he does! What a shot out from CNED. Nice. He's able to get the kill on us. He gets you the flash in his face, and CNED does not care.
What?
NAVI, very clean map one.
An absolute statement right off rip, and that was KRU's map choice. We're going to Lotus next.
Melser trying to play a little bit of mind games. 13 seconds left, he drops down, and Melser's right beneath him. A 2v1 here. Davies so weak. Can Xiao do it? Oh my gosh! The shot from Davies and the Red Bull clutch from KRU.
Oh no. That's a big punish from Angel.
Oh, do we have a knife again? Nope, no knife. But 2 kills out for Angel. 4 on the round, 7 for NAVI. Chetty trying to dash around the utility, and he can't find much. Shigetsu's shots are clean.
I don't know, guys. It was too easy.
The lead gone. The series in favor of NAVI.
The European hope that we were all waiting for finally shows up here at Lock-In and take down KRU very quickly.
And that was the Prime Gaming post-match highlights. I'm Yingsu and I'm joined by Mimi and Achilles once again. What do you know? EMEA have a good team apparently, so let's go.
Yay, there's one that made it through. They look very, very good. And this was kind of the expected result. I mean, KRU putting up a hell of a performance, though, at the beginning of that map, but an equally terrifying, if not slightly more so, performance there from the side of NAVI in the end.
Yeah, the second half from NAVI was really good. I felt like they had some really great answers to Lotus. On the attacking side, always kind of taking early B pressure, getting Angel teleporting across to be able to open that door and split space into C. They were never fighting for A long. It just felt like they had a great understanding of how they wanted to form their identity on the attack side of that map. And on top of that, we gotta talk about Angel.
Yeah.
Because this guy, he looked like a 16-year-old's aim in like a 30-year-old man's body. It was wild.
Yeah. Nuts performance. I mean, Angel showing that you can be an IGL not playing a duelist and still put up solid figures. Who would have guessed it? Great performance from him. Absolutely crushing. Those TPs constantly just making KRU look absolutely frazzled. He didn't know which direction he was going to be coming from, and he was just shutting them down time and time again.
Yeah, and like the double entries as well. You have CNED satcheling in, you have Angel TPing in on top of it. It was kind of a through line that we saw in Ascent that continued to be even stronger on that attack side of Lotus. I was very impressed.
Well, before the break, we asked you guys to vote for the player of the match. Let's see the results now. You're going to be a little bit mad about this, but we did put Angel in here, but he TP'd out of there. He had something else to do on the Lotus.
He had some more entries to get.
Yeah, Lotus spawn. He had a date there. So Zipan has won this poll, who has also had a great performance as well.
I mean, it was half the duo of that entry, right? It was Zipan and it was Angel, always being able to get those early kills for their team, setting things up beautifully on that attacking side.
Yeah, it was just a monstrous performance. I mean, Angel really coming into his own. Like, in the back half of that first half, that's when we really started seeing him starting to put up some solid figures, and especially going into the attack side. But Zipan before that was the one who was really leading the charge from the side of NAVI, so an excellent effort by those guys.
Well, NAVI, they live to see another day, but sadly, we have to say goodbye to KRU, this team that's made so many international tournaments, that's made some changes as well. Mimi, again, one of those teams that just needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, we can put it back in the oven for a little bit ahead of Americas, but things I liked, I think Davies had a fantastic debut as an individual. I like some of the calls from Melzer as well. I think a little bit more time in that IGL seat, and this team has potential.
Yeah, I think, maybe go back to Ascent, revisit some of those fundamentals there because it didn't really come together, and it was a damn good effort. So clearly, their prep on Lotus looking overall decent until they get over to the defending side. So there's definitely some things, some bright spots here for them. Just need a little bit more polish.
Absolutely, and I still want to see more from NAVI as well. They come out and win this series, but I was a little worried about the first half of Lotus, and also still about CNED. He didn't have the greatest of performances on that Raze. Obviously was fantastic on the Jet, but I'm still interested to see how flexible he'll be on this roster.
I think the people that believe that NAVI were going to make a deep run in this bracket might believe that a little bit more now. Golden Boy is actually standing by with the in-game leader of NAVI, the man of the hour, in the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. Angel, always a pleasure to have the time to talk to you, one of my favorite people in the entirety of in Valorant. So it's always a joy when I get a chance to have a conversation with you about the game. And you guys looked fantastic out there. First and foremost, how does it feel to, come out here, really put on a strong performance, especially for the EMEA region, given that the region has had some rocky starts, especially in the alpha bracket?
Actually, I missed LAN so much.
Yeah.
Like, I missed competitive, I can't even describe. I really loved the place, I really loved the people who's cheering. I really like teams who we're competing against. I don't like format, but it's different topic, yeah. But I really like to be back, basically.
Yeah, no, and it's good to have you back here. It's always a pleasure to have, you boys roll up on here and crush it every single time you step onto the stage. And now you have a new addition to the team. I know you've been asked this question a million times, but obviously for, CNED, he's a different type of player than Artis was. Were you guys looking to replace a player like Artis, or were you just trying to really, I guess, amplify and make the whole team better with the addition of him on the team?
My philosophy, towards any player we get at any point of time, I prefer to give a guy freedom to do what he wants and then start fixing the things which he do wrong or which he can do better in terms of team play, or strategy-wise.
Yeah.
So I prefer the guy to show me how he liked to play, and then I'm trying to evolve it into the best gameplay for him possible.
Interesting. So, well, I guess then that kind of leads into Lotus because, you guys went bold. You picked Lotus. We've been seeing it played a little bit here, but on the other side of the stage, they had a different philosophy than you guys. They busted out the neon. I want to get your thoughts on like your philosophy for Lotus in general, and also what you thought about KRU's approach in that game.
Like, I'll be honest with you, it's very, very, very hard to understand which philosophy on Lotus is good now.
That's fair.
I have no idea. Maybe we're gonna play against Viper next time, they're gonna be stomped, you know? To be honest, we lost the side 9-3, right, on defense, so...
That's true.
It's very, very hard. I can't judge, but I don't like Neon in general, not only on Lotus, you know? Like, it's just an agent which I don't really like.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna explain why.
You know what? I like that because we were talking about it off camera, and then now he's just changing his answer. Just son of a, okay. Well, look, brother, you guys are obviously a very heavy favorite for this tournament, especially with how you play.
Heavy favorite?
I mean, I would say as much. You guys look great. You played great.
Just like me too much. It's
but you're out here fragging like a pro, man. What were you doing during the off season?
Like a pro? So
like a pro.
Okay.
Like a pro.
I got paid, bro, please.
What were you doing in the off season, though? Because it really does feel like, though, you yourself have stepped up your game.
Like, I'll be honest, I just worked on my game much more. With addition, like, of Latex, who will become, like, assistant coach, and with me trusting Eric much more than at the start of last year, I'm doing much less work in terms of, like, strategies, preparation, anti-strats, and I have time finally to focus on my game. Let's be honest, this game doesn't mean that much, right? One good game is not like, oh, Angel, now you're good.
That's fair.
Let's see how the tournament will end, and then we'll see. Is there a progress or not?
I'm just saying, as your friend, can I just gas you up from time to time, make you feel good?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, there you go. All right, brother, it was a pleasure. Congratulations. Always a joy to talk to you. But coming up next, guys, we got our last match of the day. It's going to be Zeta facing off against Leviathan. An awesome battle, and I can't wait to watch it. We'll see you guys on the other side.